This information has been handed over the years. It's touted as an illicit drug rather than a medicine. In the research that we have, the most amazing part of the product is the medicinal value to it. Especially in the eastern countries, yet mainstream medicine refuses to recognize the validity of it.
To anyone that would say that I am nothing but a high-class drug dealer, to that I would just have to laugh. I mean, drug dealers, they sell it for a big price and they make the money. I've been giving it away since 2003. Well, I'd have to be the stupidest drug dealer in history to give it away, now wouldn't I? How do you make any money if you're giving the stuff away?
Well, that's exactly right.
I'm just trying to help people, Christian. I mean, that's all this is about. And I want people to know how to heal themselves. In 1975, I was listening to CKDH radio when the announcer came on with a report of THC from the marijuana and/or hemp plant killing cancer cells. 3 years previously, in 1972, I had watched my 25-year-old cousin die a horrible death from cancer. So when I heard this report, it certainly caught my attention. But time goes by, and I never heard any more reports, so I assumed that the report I had heard could not be true, or the system would be using THC to cure cancer. In 1997, I received a serious head injury at work. The doctors put me on prescription drugs, but these drugs did nothing to alleviate my condition, and many of the drugs had horrible side effects. In late 1998, I watched an episode of The Nature of Things entitled Reefer Madness 2. Dr. David Suzuki interviewed many people with serious medical conditions who had been using hemp as a treatment. The results were amazing. After seeing this program, I purchased some hemp and tried it. Just smoking hemp did more for my medical condition than all those pills the doctors were giving me, and I told them so. I asked many doctors for a prescription for hemp, but was refused. All the doctors would do is tell me that hemp was bad for the lungs and to stay away from hemp. It's still under study. Even my family doctor said it was bad for the lungs. So I asked him what he thought about me taking the essential oil from the hemp plant and ingesting it orally as a medication. The doctor agreed that this would be a much more medicinal way to use this drug, but would still not give me a prescription, so I could acquire this drug legally. In 2001, my family doctor informed me that there was nothing more they could do. They had nothing left to try on me, so I was on my own. I continued producing and taking hemp oil as my only medication. Slowly, my thinking processes cleared from the effects of all those chemical drugs the doctors had given me, and everyone around me saw the improvement in my condition. The oil had worked wonders for me. In late 2002, my family doctor examined 3 areas on my skin which he presumed to be skin cancer. One was close to my right eye, another on my left cheek, and another on my chest. In January 2003, the cancer close to my right eye was surgically removed, and they were going to schedule me to have the other 2 cancers removed at a later date. About a week after the surgery by my eye, the area was infected and very angry looking. I was examining where the surgery had been done when the report I had heard on the radio in 1975 popped back into my mind. I knew the oil I produced had concentrated THC in it, so I put some oil on 2 bandages and applied them to the other 2 areas of skin cancer. In 4 days, both cancers were gone. Needless to say, I was very excited about the hemp oil curing my skin cancer, so I went to my doctor's office for a copy of my pathology report, which stated that I had basal cell carcinoma. I informed the receptionist that the cancer had returned and that I had cured it and the other 2 cancers with hemp oil. The reaction of the receptionist mystified me. She went rigid, saying, "The doctor will not go there. The doctor will not prescribe this." I was standing in my doctor's office telling them that I cured my cancer with hemp oil, and they didn't want to hear it? Foolishly, at the time, I thought the system wanted a cure for cancer. Seeing the receptionist's reaction to the hemp oil left me feeling very uneasy. It felt like the Twilight Zone. In April 2003, I contacted the Pain Management Center in Halifax. I had been told by a friend that the center might be able to provide me with a license to possess hemp. All I got was a recorded message stating that there was a 21-month waiting period and that you must be referred by your physician. Now, where did that leave me? My family doctor wouldn't even talk about hemp medicine.
Big-time controversy brewing in a small town over this. Is it a cure-all or contraband?
Now, here's somebody dying from cancer, they're not dying anymore. Here's somebody that had something else, well, they're cured. And this is what's doing it.
But in a small Nova Scotia town, one man is trying to get the word out about what he says are the healing properties of hemp oil. But as Ross Lord explains, where he's spreading the word has created a major headache with no cure in sight.
In McCann, Nova Scotia, this oil is gaining a reputation as a miracle drug.
That's the cure right there.
Oil extracted from marijuana plants. Rick Simpson has been making it and giving it to friends and neighbors. He calls it hemp oil. Others know it as weed oil. In small doses, he says, it makes you well without getting you high.
Hemp oil containing THC has been touted as an effective treatment for many diseases, including cancer. But distributing THC, the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana, is illegal. And that has some Nova Scotia users worried their supply of medicinal hemp oil will disappear. Global's Ray Bradshaw has the story.
I'm used to it.
Hemp oil is being used by some people in the McCann area of Nova Scotia to help in the treatment of cancer. Now they're worried their hemp oil will be taken away.
People are being very scared of the RCMP coming in their home and taking their medicine from them. And the whole community itself is living in fear down here, including my family.
That's because the hemp oil Rick Simpson is making contains THC, an illegal substance. He says there's medical proof that THC kills cancer cells. Rick Dwyer says Simpson's hemp oil cured his father's cancer and other diseases.
It took the fluid off his lungs. It repaired the prostate. It did so many things for him. He doesn't even take his insulin now for his diabetes because it controls his diabetes.
Amherst RCMP told us they won't likely track down people who use hemp oil for medicinal purposes. But the RCMP say it is illegal to provide people with hemp oil containing THC, whether or not the supplier is paid.
Simpson grew marijuana on his property and made hemp oil from it. This fall, RCMP confiscated the plants, but didn't arrest or charge him.
They took it here, so what's to stop them from going house to house?
Simpson says without marijuana to make hemp oil, he's been unable to supply people. He's hoping the attitude toward the drug will soon turn around.
People are dying for no damn reason. I'd like to see the most medicinal plant in the world just get the recognition it deserves.
For Global News in McCann, this is Ray Bradshaw reporting.
I met a girl at the McCann Legion who said this guy, Rick Simpson, had cured her of cancer. So I asked the girl if I could meet him. And so she told him, and Mr. Simpson came to the Legion. At the time, he told me he had discovered that he could cure skin cancer and diabetic ulcers with a medicinal oil called hemp oil. And I took this man as sincere. Besides that, he told me his father was a veteran, and I felt an obligation to check his story out as a veteran's child. He took me with him, and I investigated it as I should have. And he took me to these people, and sure enough, these people were all saying that he had cured them up. He brought forward the evidence and the proof, and our executive and president and all of us had agreed that we have to do something. I mean, people are dying needlessly and suffering needlessly. So we held a meeting, and we discussed that we would put it in the paper, which the president and the treasurer signed the letter, and we put it in the paper asking for an honest and open review of this medicine. And we started writing letters to provincial command, as we sent a tape. I spoke to the president of provincial command 3 times, telling them to please come up and you know, at least come up and look at this and direct us here. And so that they refused to actually address the issue. And as our members and executive members, I mean, people were dying all around us and people didn't know. And so we decided we had to do something in that. And so that's when we